Hi, I'm Nate Moore, and this is Lesson 25. We're going to wrap up our discussion of the Options menu for pivot tables with the Printing tab and the Data tab today. Printing is pretty straightforward. If you want these little expand and collapse buttons to show up when you print, you could check this box. Typically, I don't. There's no point in expanding and collapsing once I'm on paper, so I typically don't do that. But I will repeat the row labels on each printed page. So if I've got multiple columns and I go across the page into multiple pages, I'll always have these rows there. If you want print titles and control it so you can maybe have the same rows on each page and the same columns as it goes down or across multiple pages, you can check this box here. And then you can go over to page layout and print titles, and you can set the rows to repeat at the top and the columns to repeat at the left to make sure you've got the right rows and columns on each page. If we go back to the Options menu, those are your print options. I want to spend just a minute on data. This button will let you save the source data with the file. So even if you're pulling data over from your practice management software, even if you've got a live connection, you can take that spreadsheet, save the data with the file, and take it someplace else on your laptop, home, wherever, where you don't have a connection to the data, and you can still pivot existing data. You may not be able to refresh, but you can still pivot the existing data you have because you've saved the source data with the file. You can enable Show Details, which will allow you, if you turn it off, you're familiar. I used to be able to double click, and now it says I cannot change this part of the pivot table report because I've turned this off. I wouldn't trust this alone to protect payroll data or something like this. I think if you're going to do that, I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to protect the worksheet. I'm going to do a lot of things besides just rely on that. But this will eliminate the ability to double click and get another page and show details. If your data is someplace else, out in your practice management software or wherever, and you want to refresh it when you open it because it's outside the spreadsheet, you can check this box when you boot up this Excel and load this spreadsheet. It will go out and look for newer data when it opens the file. My data is right here, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's in the same spreadsheet. The thing I want to show you lastly is this retain items deleted from the data source. What on earth does that mean? Typically it's set to automatic, and what that means is if you change, maybe it'd be easier if I pulled this out. I've got these 5 physicians. If I go to my data and I say, look, I've got doctor and I'm going to replace Buzz with Woody. So I'm going to go change everything that says Buzz and make it say Woody, and I'm going to replace all. And then let's go get Dr. Splash and make it Dr. Soren. Replace all. Now that I'm done with that, I come over here, and again, nothing's changed until we refresh the data. And we'll give it just a second because we've got an awful lot of data. Okay, we're back. The update took a little bit longer, and these videos are long enough as it is. So here we go. We've got, instead of Dr. Splash, Dr. Soren, and instead of Dr. Buzz, we have Dr. Woody now. The thing that this retain number of items to retain per field, retain items deleted from the data source does is even though I don't have a Buzz and I don't have a Dr. Splash anymore, it's cluttering up my filters. Now, if you go say, give me Buzz and Splash, there's nothing there, but they're still on my list. And so if your data changes and you get tired of having these extra filters that really don't mean anything because there are no filters in there anymore, there's no data that matches that filter, you can go to Data. We'll go to None. Don't forget to refresh. And now I'm only looking at filters for data that's current, or data that's actually in my data set. If you change data, or if things, if you looked at one set of time frame, say 2003 to 2007, and then you don't look at that data anymore, you look at 2008 to 2010, the 2003 and 2007 is still showing up in there, going to Options, Data, and making this None instead of automatic will clean out all those old filters from this area. That's it for the Options menu. We've been through each of these tabs. I hope you found that helpful. I want to show you one more trick while we're talking about options, and the next time we'll go on to something else. If you have a ton of data and your spreadsheet's running slow, and you want to make a bunch of changes over here, you can check Defer Layout Update. Move some things around here. You can move this over here and that over there, and you can move everything, get everything just the way you want it. And then click Update, and then Excel will do your updates all in one fell swoop, rather than as you go. And if you've got a ton of data and it's slowing down, you may find that helpful. I hope this tour through the pivot table options has been helpful. Thanks for watching.